Happy Wednesday out there, Team 42. It's your skipper here, Darius Dell, to present our macro minute for Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. As always, we'll start with the executive summary from today's leadoff morning note. If you would like to review the analysis supporting these conclusions, as well as what specific changes you need to make in your portfolio to remain on the right side of market risk, you need to be a client of 42 Macro. So today's key macro question is, will Magnificent Seven earnings disappoint investors? Our answers are earnings, probably not, judging by ASML's reaction to Q4 results. The stock is up 8% on order bookings of 7 billion euro, that more than doubled the Bloomberg consensus estimate of 3.5 billion. Guidance, on the other hand, well, that is where it gets tricky. Will they power ahead with spending plans, or will they acknowledge the DeepSeek development as something that caused them to rethink the quantity and/or quality of their investing? It may be the case that the companies pivot to more cost-effective strategies, not necessarily in a manner that lowers overall costs, but in a manner that substantially increases productivity. Indeed, the hyperscalers have the abundant resources to copy useful elements of DeepSeek's open source coding and semiconductor usage breakthroughs to produce AI programs that are cheaper, faster, and dramatically better than what DeepSeek has been able to produce, thus dramatically accelerating AI adoption among enterprises and consumers. Perhaps that is all wishful thinking, however. The flip side of that sanguine take is that they arrogantly power ahead with their previous spending plans, hoping that the US government bails them out from having to compete with more resourceful and perhaps better Chinese tech developers. Investors looking to position in and around the start of Mag 7 earnings will appreciate the following review of our volatility adjusted momentum signal and probable range signals for related exposures. So the Mag 7 equal weight S&P 500 ratio is bullish. Apple is neutral and overbought. Amazon is bullish and in the middle of its probable range. Google is bullish with more than 2-to-1 upside in its probable range. Meta is bullish with roughly 2-to-1 downside in its probable range. Microsoft is bullish and in the middle of its probable range. NVIDIA is bullish and oversold. And Tesla is bullish with nearly 5-to-1 upside in its probable range. Transitioning to our 42 macro dashboard, as always, we wrap up with a question from our community. This one's titled Taking Over Consensus. Says, good morning, Darius. I hope you and your family are happy and healthy. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother, and hope the same for you and your family. It says, it took me, noted 4,000 miles away, that you're fast gaining prominence with a growing subscriber base, track record, and recognition and visibility. I'm pretty confident it couldn't happen to a better and more deserving man. That's really kind for you to say. It's very humbling. And it's not just me, it's our team. We have an awesome team working here at 42 Macro that, allow me to do what I do for our clients. And then in terms of educating the global investor community as well. So just really appreciative of the kind words. Thank you. Question is this something to take into account in your models, that instead of you looking at markets to see how they are doing, there might be a day where the market starts looking at you to see what you are saying, and that loop takes form? There are plenty of high profile investors who have the power to shake up markets, but this is more about macro consensus. You currently say that consensus is lagging your theme for 6 to 18 months. What if it starts to catch up? Looking at the current trajectory of things, is that a matter of if, but when? Thank you for your superb work, my friend. Again, very appreciative of the warm compliments. So, I think this is a legitimate question. I think we are well off of this really, mattering from the perspective of our signals and how they sort of filter through broader asset markets. I mean, we have a client base of several thousand clients, and so we're appreciative of that. But again, this is that's a client base of several thousand clients with probably, I'm guessing, somewhere close to 20 trillion in AUM. But the reality is that 20 trillion AUM is not exclusively relying on me, or some significant share of that $20 trillion in AUM is not exclusively relying on 42 macro signals. I'd be much more concerned if we were, 10 times larger with, twice as much AUM in terms of the clients that we advise, et cetera. But, I think it'll be a while before we get there. But, what I've seen also in with respect to this this kind of topic, there are folks that I look up to in this industry that have much larger footprints than I do, like the Raoul Pauls of the world, the Luke Gromans, the Jim Biancos of the world, the Bob Elliott's, the Lynn Aldens and Jim Carsons, people with larger footprints than us that don't necessarily move markets either. So I think we're a long ways away from being able to move markets in terms of our signals. But one thing I will say is that as we continue to gain prominence, as we continue to be on national television and whatnot, and other networks start to acknowledge the awesome work that we're doing here and start to pick us up, our themes will start to become more consensus faster. When we authored, for example, the Brazilian U.S. economy theme in the summer of 2022, I would argue it took to the first half of 2024 for that to really truly become consensus, right? We were still debating hard landing in the second half of 2023. I think of it, that the lag time between, us developing a theme and the theme eventually becoming consensus. Now that lag time may compress over time, but I still think it'll always be a healthy lag. I mean, I don't see anyone in the world, and I don't mince words about this, doing 150 slides of hard hitting, data driven, top end institutional macro analysis every single month in our macro scouting reports. Our daily leadoff morning note has minimum 50 slides in it, mostly charts every day. Our weekly around the horn presentation has, generally speaking, 75 slides, mostly charts, with headers and whatnot. And so, I say that to say I don't think there's a human being on global Wall Street, and if you think there is, please send them my way so I can compare and contrast. I don't think there is a human being on global Wall Street that does more research than Darius Dale. And as a function of that, we will always stay well ahead of consensus with respect to developing the critical macro themes that matter. So as a client of 42 Macro, you could have a lot of confidence and faith that moat, if you will persist. So appreciate again. Thank you again for the wonderful compliment. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. Have a great day out there.